Hi friends, welcome back. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about my current project. It is something I thrifted. I have just moved the floors up a little bit and added some doors. This is kind of my main inspiration photo, kind of focusing on that stairwell, but I think a house with that vibe deserves to have some parquet floors. And I just so happened to thrift a big bag of wooden components, and there were a bunch of these picks that I think are a really good size for parquet floors. So I'm going to show you how I do that. I started out by making two 1-inch marks on each pick. This is where I'm going to use my miter shears to cut my boards. But I'm not going to throw away any of the excess because around the edges I am going to need some random short bits, so I try not to throw anything away until the end. And if I am grabbing these weird, it is because I'm trying not to send wood confetti all over my living room. If you're the kind of person who can cut all of these first and then lay your floor, more power to you, but I need to work in short bursts because this is boring and I need to see the floor happening to keep me inspired to continue. So that is why I am still cutting even though a lot of the floor is already laid. I'm building my floor on a piece of scrap paper I had. It's pretty thick. I think it was a hanging file. And it is cut to exactly the dimensions of the room it's going into, which means that I'm working right up to the edge. I've also drawn these parallel lines to make sure that my floors don't get crooked so that I have to do something weird when I reach the end. Okay, so obviously my wood and my cutting implement are both not the highest quality. So I like to keep a nail file handy and just get those jagged bits off of the end. This is super helpful when you're fitting all the pieces together because even a millimeter can make a difference. My next critical tool for this is this precision glue applicator. I'm just using regular wood glue, but there are a lot of craft glues that could work for this, so don't feel like you have to go buy new stuff. There are a ton of ways to lay a parquet floor, so it's definitely worth looking online to see if there's a special pattern that speaks to you. As you can see, sometimes you're just going to have pieces that don't quite fit. You can cut a new one or check through your pile to see if some are slightly longer. They don't have to be totally flush. I will show you a way to blend this, but obviously you don't want huge gaps. This row got particularly fiddly and I had to do a lot of special cutting, but it's not hard, it's just time consuming, so I don't really mind. So here you can really see the difference between the parts I've already sort of finished and the parts I just laid. And all I'm going to do to fill in those gaps is to run my emery board in a circular motion all around the part I just laid. And if you've got some particularly big gaps, you can cut off like a splinter from the wood you're working with, or you can add a little bit of wood glue before doing the sanding. and this will sort of help keep that sawdust that you're creating in the cracks, but I'm hoping that my floor varnish will seal in these faux cracks as well. I've never done that before, so we will find out together. Okay, that's it for now. Hopefully I'll have another video on this floor soon. Be sure to subscribe so you can see it.